They think you will falter. They think you will raise your voice. They assume you will collapse into the predictable dance that weak men do when their pride is bruised. But they are wrong. They have confused your silence for surrender. You do not flinch. You do not bark. You do not bleed where they can see. Instead, you stand still motionless. So still that the very air around you seems to thicken, as though something dangerous is just about to unfold. That is the first tremor of fear. And they feel it, though they may not fully comprehend why. This is not kindness. It is not restraint. It is control. Control they did not realize you possessed. Control they cannot break. Control that turns their disrespect back on them until even their shadow becomes a threat. A man who reacts is predictable, weak, and transparent. But a man who waits, who studies, who lets the insult hang in the air like a dying insect, he is the one who holds power. Cold men win because they are patient. Patience is the weapon concealed beneath your coat, sharp, silent, and inevitable. Every breath you take after the insult is you reloading not a gun, but a strategy. They hand you the weapon when they disrespect you. They do not know you will use it. This is when you cease being prey. This is when you stop being the passive, obedient kind of nice that sheep are. From here on, you become winter in human form, quiet, vast, and merciless. They will learn that nothing freezes faster than arrogance. Welcome to dark tactics. Let this message sink in so you never forget it. My silence is their sentence. And now we begin. When someone disrespects you, your first instinct will be to act to strike back, to defend yourself. It's only natural. Your pride demands it. Your emotions scream for it. But that instinct is not strength. It is weakness, disguised as pride. Machiavelli, the master of power, warned us that power is rarely lost in one dramatic blow. Instead, it is drained slowly, often through hasty reactions. Every time you rush to prove yourself, you are spending valuable resources, currency that you didn't need to spend. Every emotional outburst, every rash response is a waste of your strength. Your silence is not retreat. It is the first move in a long strategic game. You are playing a game of chess, while they think they are playing checkers. You face a loud, boisterous opponent who believes the game is about noise. They slam their pieces. They shout. They try to rattle you. They believe that the louder they are, the stronger they appear. They think you will match their volume, engage in the fight they want. But you won't. You won't fall for the trap. You let them believe they are winning, while all the while you are positioning yourself for the kill. You are not drawn into their frenzy. You remain calm, controlled, and focused. That is cold, calculated strategy. The weak, the emotional, believe that revenge is about reaction. They believe it's about instant retaliation. They fire back at the first sign of disrespect. They want their response to be swift and loud. But the strong know the truth. Revenge is not about reaction, it's about repositioning. If you react emotionally, they control the frame. They get to set the narrative of the battle. If you react, you allow them to dictate the terms. But if you control the frame, you remain silent, calculated, and patient to decide the terms of the fight. You control whether the fight happens at all. This is why you wait. This is why you don't react immediately. This is why you record every slight, every insult, every wrong done to you, so that in the future, when you strike, it will be calculated. You'll have already studied your opponent's weaknesses. You'll know exactly where to apply pressure. Patience is your most powerful weapon, because it gives you the clarity to see things that others can't. Machiavelli wrote that men must either be flattered or crush. There is no middle ground. And patience is what allows you to discern who deserves to be flattered and who deserves to be crushed. You are not a man of impulse. You are a man of strategy. This takes discipline. Discipline that the weak cannot master. Discipline is the currency of dominance. Without it, you are just a puppet of your emotions, reacting to whatever comes your way. But with it, you are in control of your own fate. While your enemies are busy underestimating you, you are gathering resources, allies, and evidence. They think they've bruised you, that they've hurt you with their words or actions. But in reality, what they've done is placed themselves under your scrutiny. And that's when they start making mistakes. Big mistakes. obvious mistakes, fatal mistakes, because they think you're not paying attention. They think you're just sitting there, wounded and quiet. But in truth, you're observing. You are waiting for the right moment to strike. And when you finally do move, it's not to win an argument. It's not to prove that you were right all along. No, you move with a singular purpose: to end their ability to challenge you ever again. You won't waste your time in petty arguments. You won't stoop to their level. You will dismantle their power, piece by piece, until they can no longer touch you. You will have so completely taken control of the narrative that they won't even know how they lost until it's too late. Remember this? The man who can wait controls the terms. The man who controls the terms wins without ever needing to raise a hand. By waiting, by being patient, you create the conditions for your victory. You do not rush to the battlefield. You build it under their feet, and when you move, it will feel inevitable. That is how true power is exercised. The greatest revenge is not in striking back. It's not in showing them that you can hurt them just as much as they hurt you. The greatest revenge is in making them dig their own grave, while they thank you for handing them the shovel. Machiavelli understood this principle well. Enemies destroy themselves faster when you remove open resistance. When you engage with them directly, when you challenge them head on, you unify them. They may rally together, fighting with a shared cause, even if that cause is to bring you down. But when you retreat into silence, when you disappear from their battlefield, you divide them. The arrogance they once had now festers unchecked, and arrogance is always the most predictable path to their collapse. Here's how you can control this. After you've been disrespected, you must stop feeding their relevance. Stop acknowledging them in any way. No public call-outs, no emotional confessions, no back-channel gossip. You no longer discuss them or engage with their provocations. Treat them like an empty chair in a locked room. This is psychological starvation, and it is far more lethal than any physical blow you could deliver. People cannot stand to be ignored, especially by someone they sought to provoke. They hunger for your attention, and when they do not receive it, they begin to spiral. The silence becomes a mirror. They start to see themselves for who they truly are, and what they see, they do not like. While they are wrestling with their own ego, you are operating in the shadows. You are not idle. You are improving your skills, building your network, gathering leverage, and positioning yourself above them. The longer they swing at you, the more futile their strikes become. They may try to hurt you, but you are no longer a target. You are the mountain they cannot climb. You are the person they can't touch, not because you're loud, but because you've risen above them. They may try to knock you down, but their arms won't reach that high. Machiavelli advised rulers to appear merciful, faithful, and humane, but to be ready to act with the opposite when survival demands it. You do the same. Outwardly, you remain calm, composed, and productive. Inwardly, you keep a ledger. Every slight, every lie, every attempt to undermine you gets recorded. You don't let any of it slide, because at the right time, that ledger becomes your weapon. It's a quiet, invisible weapon, one that does not require you to raise a hand or speak a word. The mere fact that you have been keeping track of their mistakes will be enough to break them when the time comes. You don't need to strike first. You don't need to rush into battle. Let them keep talking. Let them keep overreaching. Let them keep exposing themselves. They believe they are winning ground. In reality, they are building the case against themselves. They are tightening the noose with every move they make, and they don't even know it. When the moment comes, you won't need to argue. You won't need to waste your energy defending yourself. You will simply present the facts. Facts are cold. Facts are final. And facts end debates. By the time you strike, the battlefield will already be yours. You won't be reacting to their insults. You will be responding to their failure. You've already won, and they don't even know it yet. They will trip on the rope they themselves tied. So engrave this into your mind. I don't destroy them. I let them destroy themselves. Their hands, my victory. Patience is the prelude. Precision is the kill. Up until now, you've been quiet, calculating, watching them make mistake after mistake. You've let them think they're winning, letting them think they're outsmarting you. But now, the time has come. The moment to strike is near. And this strike will not be a reaction. It will not be driven by anger or emotion. It will be calculated, necessary, and inevitable. Machiavelli was clear. The wise prince does not strike when he is angry. He strikes when the blow will end the matter entirely. Your offense must look like necessity. It must appear to be the only logical conclusion to an inevitable course of events. If your strike appears emotional, they will call it petty. But if it looks calculated, justified, and inevitable, they will call it fate. And in that moment, the story will be rewritten. The world will not see you as the aggressor. They will see you as the one who simply restored order to chaos. The weak attack a man's strength. They try to tear him down by challenging his power. But the strong understand that true power lies not in attacking the armor, but in attacking the seams, the points of weakness. Every enemy has a seam. That coworker who undermined you his seam might be a hidden failure he's desperate to bury. The rival who mocked you his seam might be the approval of others he cannot live without. You don't attack the armor. You find the crack. You apply pressure slowly, subtly, making your moves look like coincidence to everyone except him. You redirect opportunities away from him, cut his lines of influence, and expose small truths that make others doubt him. You don't have to tell the whole story, just enough for the crowd to begin questioning the narrative. And once doubt enters a man's circle, his own allies will finish the work for you. You won't need to lift a finger. Machiavelli wrote that it is better to be feared than loved. If you cannot be both, fear survives longer than affection. If your calculated strike teaches the man, everyone watching, that disrespecting you carries a cost, you've planted fear in the soil of their memory. That fear will grow roots, and it will be that fear, not the memory of your retaliation, that keeps them in check. But here's the discipline most men lack. After your strike, you go silent again. No gloating, no victory laps. You let the consequences speak louder than your words. The mystery of your limits will terrify them more than the memory of your retaliation, because now they know you can strike and they'll never see it coming. I strike once, and it's enough. Patience is the prelude. Precision is the kill. Up until now, you've been quiet, calculating, letting them build their mistakes, watching them accumulate like dry wood. You've allowed them to think they're getting ahead, to believe they have the upper hand. But now, the time has come to act. Now, the moment to strike is here. And when you strike, it will not be a reaction. It will not be driven by the impulse of anger, nor will it be a rash, emotional outburst. No, your strike will be a masterpiece of strategy. It will be precise, necessary, and inevitable. Machiavelli made it clear. The wise prince does not strike when he is angry. He strikes when the blow will end the matter entirely, when it will sever the issue once and for all. The key to your offense is that it must appear as if it was the only possible outcome. It must feel like fate, not anger. If your strike appears to be emotional, they'll call it petty. They'll try to undermine you by labeling it a rash decision. But if it appears calculated, justified, and inevitable, they will see it for what it truly is, fate. And when that happens, you rewrite the story. You are no longer the aggressor. You are simply the one who restored balance, who imposed order. You are the solution to the chaos they created. The weak attack a man's strength. They believe that if they can tear down his power, they can defeat him. But the strong understand that true power lies not in attacking someone's strength, but in targeting their weakness. Every enemy has a seam, a vulnerable point. That coworker who undermined you his seam might be a hidden failure he's terrified to expose. That rival who mocked you a seam might be his desperate need for approval, something he can't live without. You don't attack the armor. You don't waste your energy on the facade. Instead, you find the crack, and you apply pressure slowly, methodically, making it appear as though your moves are just coincidence, just circumstance, when in reality, you're closing in. You redirect opportunities away from them. You cut their lines of influence. You expose small truths that make others start to doubt them. You don't need to tell the whole story, just enough to make the crowd question the narrative. And once doubt enters a man's circle, it becomes a seed that others will water. His allies will begin to question him. The trust they once had in him will erode. You don't need to lift a finger. They will collapse under their own weight. Machiavelli wrote that it is better to be feared than loved. If you cannot be both, fear has a longer shelf life than affection. If your calculated strike teaches the man, everyone watching, that disrespecting you comes with consequences, you have planted fear in the soil of their memory, and that fear will grow roots deep and strong. It will be that fear, not the memory of your retaliation, that keeps them in check. But here's the discipline most men fail to master. After you strike, you don't gloat. You don't celebrate your victory. You don't bask in the glory of your triumph. You go silent again. The consequences of your action will speak louder than any words you could say. The silence after your strike becomes your greatest weapon. The mystery of your limits, of your true capacity, will terrify them far more than the memory of your retaliation. Because now they know you can strike. They know you have the power to act, and they know that they will never see it coming. The next time they think they've crossed you, they won't act with the same arrogance. They'll hesitate. They'll second-guess themselves. They will wonder if their actions will trigger another calculated move from you. And when they do, that hesitation will be their downfall. I strike once, and it's enough. Now, we enter the final phase of the strategy, post-strike dominance. A true predator doesn't just kill. He controls the territory after the kill. Most people make the mistake of thinking that revenge ends with the strike. They believe that once they've dealt the blow, they've won. But that's the trap. Striking is not the end. The end is consolidation making. Your position's so solid, that no one will even think about challenging you again. Machiavelli warned that after victory, a ruler must not only remove the immediate threat, but also eliminate the root of the problem entirely. If you leave any loose ends, any chance for retaliation, you invite further conflict. The wise prince knows that after the victory, the real work begins. It's not just about surviving the battle, it's about ensuring no one dares challenge you again. This is consolidation. Consolidation means making your victory permanent. Your reputation, your systems, your resources, your allies, they must all serve one purpose. Making a challenge to you seem impossible. You need to anchor your authority in the public eye. Every achievement, every alliance, every visible asset should be displayed in a way that makes your dominance look invulnerable. People need to see that you're not just standing firm, you're expanding. This is psychological territory marking. You're telling the world, I am not to be tested. But consolidation goes beyond public displays. It requires you to strengthen your inner circle. The people closest to you are your strongest allies. If they've seen what happens when someone crosses you, they'll be fiercely loyal. This is where you reward loyalties, give your allies more power, more access, more stake in your success. When their survival is tied to your success, they'll defend you without hesitation. You also need to cut off any remaining ties to the enemy. No interactions, no comments, no mutual spaces. History shows that the most stable empires erased the names of their rivals from the record entirely. You do the same. Their memory becomes a ghost. Ghosts have no power. They don't influence anyone. Finally, you must maintain your aura. Keep your composure absolute. Keep your presence scarce but powerful. Let the legend of your retaliation grow unchecked. Don't confirm it. Don't deny it. The beauty of this power move is that it becomes self-sustaining. People will spread stories about you, but they'll never know if the stories are true. The mystery of your power will grow in their minds, and that fear, that uncertainty, will keep them in line. Once your reputation has weight, you no longer need to chase power. Power will chase you. You won't have to seek it out. It will come to you, drawn by the gravitational pull of your influence, your reputation, your actions. Now, you don't need to defend yourself anymore. The environment you've created will defend you. The network of allies you've built, the fear you've cultivated, the respect you've earned, they form a fortress. No one can breach it without being destroyed in the process. And that, ultimately, is the highest level of power. It is not just about reacting to threats. It is about making threats cease to exist.